On this episode of the Star Trek Universe podcast, we are talking about episode 104 of Star Trek Lower Decks, Moist Vessel. Right after this commercial from someone we can't control.
Did you just laugh harder at the name of the show than you laughed at the show?
No, not this week.
Welcome to the Star Trek Universe podcast. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
Still laughing at Moist Vessel.
No, I'm not. I'm laughing at the one thing. Well, not the one thing. I laughed a few times, but the thing that had me laughing it still got me laughing. I keep thinking of it.
All right, what is it?
When the guy finally ascends,
yes,
and he's like, the entire universe is on the back of a koala. Why is he smiling? What does he know?
Yep, that was probably the best moment of the episode. The painful ascension was a pretty amazing thing.
It was really good.
It was really good.
That was some dark Rick and Morty shit right there, and I was down.
That was my exact thought when that happened. I was like, this is them really like playing with an idea from Star Trek, but playing with it in like a dark way. Because, you know, the terror of sort of the afterlife and being unsure and not like all of that is like, and playing with that idea. And it's fun. It's fun, and I liked it. It was great. It was really wonderful. Everything else in this episode itself felt pretty similar to everything else they've done, you know, except this that ship, the Generation ship, looked almost exactly. Well, okay, not almost exactly. It looked similar to, especially in the interior, to a Generation ship from the Orville.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what? When they said, and it was the same basic plot, except for the inorganic material, which is really what they were using it for. But they, in the Orville, they come across a Generation ship that's like never found its home. And and I was like, and then they cut to the interior, and I was like, wait, that looks really similar to the interior to that Generation ship.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was really curious if they, I'm like looking at pictures of this Generation ship from the Orville and seeing if the exterior looks similar. Not really, but
yeah, I never watched the Orville aside from like 10 to 15 minutes of the first episode, and I just wasn't digging it. So
yeah, it made me wonder if they were making a reference to the Orville, which is kind of interesting. But
may have been.
Yeah, either way, I was excited at the very beginning because of that, like the way they described the mission. To me, this was the first interesting mission, and like the Generation ship with inorganic, this thing that brings about inorganic material, and then they did not focus on the mission at all.
I'll tell you this. I did laugh at the Tellarite captain who said, "We're in charge of this mission, and our position will reflect that."
Yes, that was also very funny.
I was confused. I was pretty sure Starfleet officers could reject promotions.
I'd have no idea.
I mean, Riker turned down captain several times.
Well, I think you can turn down a posting, like a move, like it's just like if you have your family and they don't want to move or whatever, you can probably turn down a posting. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about it within the same ship if you can just like say you don't want to be a lieutenant. I mean, I guess you could, but
I mean, I think most of the time you have to like apply for it or something,
right?
Anyway, but
right, there's like exams and shit you have to take, and
I was just curious. Like I was like, well, you know, why wouldn't I don't understand why Mariner doesn't just quit.
Well, clearly she doesn't actually want to quit, and she doesn't even actually want to drive her mother away. Like I think this whole story, that's the thing that I don't like about this show, is it feels like every after school special version of this, sort of that whole plot of like her kind of disliking her mom and her mom disliking her, but obviously her mom wants her to succeed. She doesn't actually want her to fail. And clearly Mariner cares about succeeding. Yeah. She just doesn't want to succeed within the same system her mom succeeds in, you know? Mm-hmm. She wants to, Mariner just wants to be different. And even talking about this is like boring me.
I don't get any of the after school special vibes, but
I do. I don't know.
You know,
it's fine. It feels like by after school, I guess I don't mean I guess I mean like after school cartoons that I used to watch, or like cartoons, or like, this feels like a Boy Meets World plot to me, which
I mean, I love Boy Meets World, so I don't know.
But like, I don't care about the plots normally. Most of the time. Not always. Sometimes I do.
Yeah, I don't know. It was nice to see a little character development, a little, you know, heart from the characters. I think the show kind of misses that a little bit, or gets wrapped up in its own sort of spastic humor and gets away from who the characters are a little bit sometimes. So I was down with that. I liked seeing, Tindy desperately need to be liked.
Yeah.
You know, I was down with all of that. But I actually did chuckle at quite a few things on this episode. So
yeah, I did too, for sure.
Bar stools hurt my back. You're not sitting on them right. Not sitting on them right. I've killed better men for less. No, you haven't. Well, I've threatened to kill better men for about the same.
I liked the sarcastic Vulcan salute, and she says, "No, it doesn't look cool when you do it." And then he leaves the room and she says, "Yes, it does."
Damn it, it does.
Damn it does. That's good. Yeah, overall, just it was, again, a funny episode. Like I really have thought every episode was funny. So yeah, I'm digging it.
It was a call out. It was a shout out to TNG. And I know those are a little bit cheap, and I've heard some people complain about them, but I really liked this one. When they were like, report to the bridge, to bridge duty, and Boimler goes, "Oh, I'll report to bridge duty and they'll get exactly what they deserve." And they're still in the comm. They're like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing. That was a holodeck. Moriarty."
Yeah, I like that. But that made sense to me. I didn't even necessarily take it as clearly is a.
It was, it's
a reference, but also like we've discussed this in the past, like we're talking about Picard, like how would people know about this? It's like probably a popular like holodeck program, you know, or like, and I know that Moriarty was like, but you can totally imagine, especially, okay, we're gonna get in the weeds then. We talked about it on Picard, where Picard and his crew are so famous, and we know that like in a previous generation, as much as people hate it, the Rikers were watching the original Enterprise in XO1 on things on So it's very likely. So it's if they loved watching, if in this timeline they're idolizing the Enterprise, which is the flagship, they probably are. They've probably heard about the Moriarty adventures. There's probably some like enterprising Ferengi who's like created a program, you know what I mean? And like he's like, yes, I have that Moriarty program we've heard about, and it's not the real one. It's not the one that's sentient, but it's, you know, or whatever. It's like a knockoff Moriarty program. I can totally see why that would be a popular program.
Well, to be fair, that Moriarty program was only sentient because Geordi accidentally, without thinking about it, told it told the computer to create a foe that could defeat Data. Right.
Well, yeah. Not to mention, it's also just Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. You know what I mean? Like it's still just like a classic villain from classic literature. So yeah, absolutely. Like it did not. That one did not strain when she mentions like Spock and Kirk, like specifically people from this universe. Like I'm kind of like, oh, that feels a little weird, but I think it's funny. It's fine. That first episode, when the episode ended and she just like literally like name checked like 10 different officers from the Star Trek history.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that strains incredulity to me, but like that one just felt like, oh yeah, Moriarty, whatever. An evil character. Who do you think of when you think of a classic evil character? Moriarty.
You know what they should do? They should create a hit musical in the 24th century. Sort of like how we have Hamilton, but it should be SETI Alpha 5. It's all about Khan and his crew surviving on the planet or something.
They say be the change you want to see in the world. And I think we should create that. Like not a musical in this world, but like we create the musical as if it was 4 Star Trek officers. I don't know. Never mind.
I got you. All right, I have to mention this. I love the Admiral saying sensors.
Yeah,
because that's constantly a thing in Star Trek. Some people say sensors. Spock said sensors. And then others say sensors. And then is this how your crew treats authority when it's known I mispronounce things? Are you really making fun of me?
Yeah.
This one was a pretty good one, I have to admit.
I agree. I think it was really good. I really liked computer, colorful sand, room temperature. Just like
that
colorful sand dumping into the. That was pretty good. It was good. And of course, the worst jobs on the ship. I had her emptying the bleep from the holodecks bleep filter. People what? Use it for that.
That's pretty much all they use it for.
So yeah, man, good episode.
It's called being a captain. No, it's called being a dick.
There's a lot of funny stuff in there. And with the horrifying ascension, like I feel like maybe the show's finding its voice a little more as it goes, and yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, that ascension scene was just my favorite thing I've seen out of this show so far.
Yeah,
and it's just I have a really dark, weird sense of humor, so
yeah, I see everything as he gets 8 arms and big phoenix appears around him. It was pretty everything. I liked that a lot.
The visual of that koala turning slowly to him and smiling. It's like, why is he smiling? What does he know?
Really silly. I also liked. It's really hard to get noticed in Starfleet. Ascension was just my thing.
Yeah.
That whole concept was great.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot to say about this episode aside from those things.
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like
it's like I've always said about podcasting about a comedy. It's like when it's working, when it's good, it's just kind of like, yeah, that was good. we can say how good different jokes were, but that's about it. I don't want to tear it apart or anything. But yeah, it was really, really good. I liked it a lot.
Am I crazy, or did he mention Abraham Lincoln in there while he was ascending?
Yeah, he did. He said something about, I see Abraham Lincoln. The universe is on the back of a koala.
Why?
Why is he smiling?
What does he know? That was the bit that got me the most. What does he know?
Yeah, it's really good. Also, just like that trippy visual of the koala is really, 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 really good and really, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
This slowly turning koala. Yeah. I think I need that tattoo.
Oh, God. You absolutely do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to talk you down.
Thanks for that encouragement. Thanks for the encouragement that I know you have my best interest at heart.
That's right, man. That's right. An Ascension koala tattoo, man. It's your birthright. I don't know what birthright means.
Yeah. Me neither. Well, I feel like we did it. We talked about this episode of Lower Decks. I liked it. It was good. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's funny. We ruined all the best parts.
Why would you listen to us if you hadn't seen it?
I don't know. people do crazy things. Some people, I mean, I've been guilty of this, listening to a podcast really like about a show that I've kind of fallen off of because, the show, whatever. And I'm just, honestly, like DC on Screen. Sometimes there's a show I don't particularly like, so I'll still listen to you guys, and you guys will start talking about it, and I'll be like, well, I don't watch that particular show, but I'll still listen to that episode sometimes.
So I don't listen. I don't watch Supergirl, so I won't listen for 3 years.
Maybe.
Hey man, we've all got stuff going on.
My point was, I still listen sometimes.
I'm not holding you accountable for something I don't do.
You're like, you don't listen to DC on Screen. It's fine. I don't either.
I really don't.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think anyone listens to their own. Every once in a while, I'll do it for like a quality check, but that's about it. Jeff, I don't think has listened to MC Ucast in like years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you just had the conversation. Why would you listen to it?
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's great. That means I can edit it however I want.
Yeah, you can. I'm too tired to stop you.
So, Dave, we've been friends a long time. What do you like about me?
I think it's the bangs. They're so straight, so shiny.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.